I'd like to call the meeting to order. Town of Farmington Inland Wetlands Commission for Wednesday, July 8th. Please ask Bruce to call the roll.
Ed Stachin.
Here.
Robert Eisner.
Here.
David Fox. Richard Berlandi.
Here.
Dan Popovic. Andre Simons. Mark Simpson.
Here.
Elena Carveth.
Here.
And Francis Roth.
Present.
All set, Chair.
Okay. So we'll see Ilana for Andre and Frank for Dave. First item on the agenda, Rob Rigney, 14 Anglers Bend. You come up and your name and address.
Robert Rigney, 14 Anglers Bend in Unionville.
Just give a quick summary of your.
This is a follow-up meeting from a couple weeks back on citing a 10 by 12 tool shed that will be set on a pad of stone, so there's no digging. And it was an optimal site on the property for function. It would not split up the recreational area, and it's hidden from all views except for my one neighbor who has his own shed. And there was some concern about it being too close or in a inland wetland easement. So I was looking for a approval or a variance to allow for that location for the siting of that shed. Shed will be on skids pretty much and stone, so it's not a permanent fixture. There's no digging at all.
Okay. And in the last meeting, we discussed the installation of the conservation easement medallions. You said you.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just work with town staff and they'll give you the advice and instructions on doing those medallions. I didn't have any other questions. We'll ask the committee. Rich?
No additional questions.
Robert?
No questions, comments.
Mark Simpson?
No questions, thank you.
Lana?
No questions.
Frank?
No questions, Chair.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Just for the record, the last meeting we accepted this. We did not require a site walk, and we determined that it was not significant. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve the application for 14 Anglers Bend.
Mr. Chair, could I pose a question before we?
Oh, yeah.
Do the motion. Bruce, is there a recommendation on the spacing on the conservation easement markers?
We usually do around 50 feet plus or minus. You know, it all depends on the situation. As long as we clearly identify, the area.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mm-hmm. So as a stipulation, we'll just require that the conservation easement medallions be installed in with advice from the town planner. Bruce?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So chair will entertain that motion.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
And that's with the requirement that the installation of the conservation easement medallions be done per staff recommendations. Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
All right, thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
So just work with town staff. Do you have any questions?
I will.
Next item on the agenda, winding trails, 50 Winding Trails Drive.
Good evening. Scott Brown, 356 Parker Street, Manchester. I am the Executive Director at Winding Trails. And this is a follow-up to the meeting we had a couple of weeks ago about the roadway and parking lot reconstruction. I know Bruce was out last week with the commission to look, and Jim Platosh. But again, the focus of the project is to address the deteriorating pavement we have in the area, improving safety for our campers, improving the traffic circulation and the camper drop-off and pickup, some additional parking, and as a secondary issue, improving some drainage issues. And I'm open to any questions you may have.
Okay.
I thought the walkthrough went well, but if you have questions, please.
Yeah, I think a lot of our questions were answered at the walkthrough. And just to remind the commission that, well, we did view the area of the major work being done about the putting in the half circle there for the bus turnaround and the improvements by Gramercy Hall. But our area that we're voting on is mostly the parking lot down by the tennis and pickleball courts. And then there was another area closer to the boathouse, right? That's also within the 100.
Correct. There's two areas on either end of that project
Yeah.
that fall within that,
Okay.
those parameters.
Did you work with town staff to get a little more definition as to which, how much stream removal is going to be required?
Well, you got the email from Cole in regards to the drainage report, correct? Did that address those issues?
I have not actually gone through it yet. We got it,
Okay.
late, so I haven't, but my thought was just to make that a condition of approval.
In terms of tree removal, what we're estimating is 11 trees being removed in the regulated area.
Okay. And as your board member was telling us that you always make a practice of keeping any tree limit, removals limits to minimum.
Correct, yes. We love our trees and love the nature area, so we take as few as possible.
Very good. And the erosion control should be a combination of silt fence and straw wattle where required.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions I had. We'll ask the commission. Rich,
I don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
Robert,
For the trees being removed, what's happening with the stumps? You're grinding them in place, you're pulling them out.
Typically, Jim, on the stump removal, we've been grinding those in place most of it. It will depend on the width, the area we're trying to widen the roadway at the first stop sign. Some of those roots may have to come out because just over time that stuff rots and creates a sinkhole. So depending on the area, there might be a few that will be removed and other will just grind depending on the location of them.
And the reason I ask is grinding in place will typically create less disturbance than.
Sure, absolutely.
So I just think if you can, obviously for the areas where you're widening the hard surface, you'll need to, do whatever you need to create the subsurface. But for
Sure.
Areas where you need to remove the tree, but the stump can be ground in place, that should be done.
Certainly, we can do that. Absolutely.
thank you. Mark, do you have any questions?
No, I think the site walk was very informative and appreciate the thoroughness of it all. And I see the need for the project and I have no further questions.
Okay. Alana?
I have no questions.
Okay, and Frank?
No additional questions.
All right. First thing we have to do is determine significance. And again, we're focusing on the areas that are in the 150-foot upland review area. I know the other areas, there are other areas with a lot of work, but it's really not under our purview. And I don't, it's mostly mill and pave. So I don't see any big differences in there. So I'm tend to lean toward being non-significant, but let's see what the commission thinks. Rich?
Yeah, I would lean toward non-significant, especially since they are improving those two, three impressions, groundwater swales for water treatment.
Robert?
I concur. It's a non-significant regulated activity. And again, the area that we're looking at is just that, which is in 150 feet of the wetlands. So while there's a lot of work that's occurring, it's outside of our purview. So non-regulated, non-significant regulated activities.
Okay, Mark?
Non-significant.
Very good. Alana?
I would consider it not significant.
Okay, Frank?
Non-significant in the area we reviewed.
All right. Any other questions? All right, I don't have any further questions myself. So Chair will entertain a motion to approve the application.
So moved, Mark.
And a second, please.
Second, with a request for a friendly amendment, Mark, if we could include conditions to coordinate closely with town staff, install and maintain soil and erosion control measures as necessary in accordance with state guidelines, and to minimize disturbance with stump removal as feasible.
This was just the vote, sorry, this was the vote for the non-significance, so.
No, I didn't-
Hold that and repeat it.
You know what? I did ask for a motion to approve and
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
that
hear
was-
you.
I
I'm sorry.
But
I jumped the
I'm
gun.
gonna recant what I just said and think more about motion
All
and
right.
non-significance.
So
okay.
I should
so,
remove my motion, I guess.
Yeah, all right. We'll backtrack here. Chair's motion that this is a non-significant regulated activity.
So moved, Mark.
And a second, please.
Second by Robert.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Now, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the application with stipulations.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move approval with the conditions that the applicant coordinate closely with town staff, that they install and maintain soil and erosion control as necessary and in accordance with state guidelines, and to utilize techniques that will minimize disturbance with stump removal as needed.
Very good. And a second, please.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the application as stipulated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck with it.
Appreciate it.
All right, item 3 on the agenda, Paul Levesque, 57 Cope Farms Road.
Paul Levesque, 57 Cope Farms Road. Here for a request for installation of a 10 by 14 pre-manufactured storage shed. Plan is to put the shed on a level gravel base. No permanent foundation or excavation or digging. It would be part of the project, just placing it on my existing lawn area in the rear left side of my property.
And that stone is held in place with a 4x4 border I saw in the plans.
Yeah, I would first level it out, put a stone and then the shed, and then eventually frame it out with 4x6 treated lumber, just to keep it level and keep the stone in place.
Okay. Yeah, plans were pretty explanatory on the, that were submitted. So we'll start with accepting the application. Chair, entertain a motion to accept the application
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor to accept the application, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, determine the need for a sidewalk. It seems like a really straightforward, situation where they're just putting a pre-built shed, 10 by 14, it's even under 200 square feet. So I don't see a need for a sidewalk, but let's hold the commission. Rich?
You're saying this is going in a lawn area?
Yep, pre-existing lawn area. Yep, just in the rear of my property in the corner.
I don't see a need for a sidewalk.
Okay, Robert?
No need for a site walk. It's just discussed. It's already existing developed area, but I also note that the shed is in pretty close proximity. Bruce, if I read the map correctly, the wetland line is just off the property line. Is that correct?
Yep. Right here.
So yeah, I mean, the shed's in pretty close proximity to the map wetland, but still within a regulated area only. So no need for a sidewalk.
Okay, Mark?
No sidewalk.
Okay, Alana?
I don't see a need for a sidewalk.
And Frank?
No, I don't believe there's a need for it.
Okay, so polling the commission, there's unanimous that we don't have a need for a sidewalk. Are there any other questions from the commission to the applicant? No. Robert?
Nope, no questions.
Mark?
None for me, thank you.
Okay, Alana?
No questions.
Frank?
No questions.
Okay, so we do have to. Right, so there's going to be no excavation, so there should not be a need for erosion control, right? Bruce?
No.
He's not excavating, okay. We need to determine significance. Again, this is a small project and it's, Robert says it is kind of close to the line, the wetland line in the back there, but it's very minor work that's required to have the shed put on the site. So I would think this is a non-significant regulated activity. See what the commission thinks. Rich?
Yeah, I would agree. Non-significant regulated activity.
Robert?
I concur, non-significant regulated too.
Mark?
Non-significant.
Alana?
Not significant.
Frank?
Non-significant.
Very good. Chair will entertain a motion that this is a non-significant regulated activity.
So move, Mark.
And a second, please.
Second, Rich.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that this is a non-significant regulated activity. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Now we'll need a motion to accept, to approve that. Oh, wait, no, that's next.
Next time.
All right, at the next meeting, we'll vote on approval of the application.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 222 Talcott Notch Road, Oxford Builders.
I don't see the applicant present. So, what's that? I don't know. That's why I just was looking for to see if he was around the corner or maybe he went to the old town hall, but let's just postpone that and let's keep moving. If he
right.
comes in, we'll
We'll table that.
stick him in.
for-
Yep.
And we will go on to 24 Summersby Way.
Let me load that up. I don't have that one loaded up yet.
And I have a question for you, Bruce, on this before we start.
Hey, Bruce,
Yes, sir.
has Dave come to this, this location since we opened the new town hall?
No, I mentioned it to him, but I sent a text. I didn't get anything back from him, so if it doesn't show, I may step out for a quick call.
Yeah, or, you know, the applicant,
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, thank you.
Bruce, on this, if you just could review, what's the history of the relationship between the conservation encroachment and the pool application? Did this start out as a pool application
Yes.
and then discovered the encroachment?
Yes, the applicant had come in looking for a pool approval as part of our staff going out there inspecting it, taking some measurements. We had realized there was encroachment into the conservation easement. So that's this area in here, on the lower end here, and then along the back here. So at that point, it was a cease and desist. Owner had come back with a restoration plan. The commission approved it. And now that that's approved, the applicant's coming back for the pool with the intention, and he'll explain this, is that they'll do both at the same time. So, all right.
So we'll need to kind of schedule the two together for the
Exactly.
best planting season. and
Exactly, yes.
To allow for the work to take place. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, hello, Ryan Ferguson, 24 Summersby Way.
Okay.
Before you now requesting to put an in-ground pool in, you just went over what happened there. I went to put the pool in, Bruce came and did some measuring and discovered we had some wetlands areas that had to be restored, and we had that meeting last time. The goal is to put the pool in first, and then the guy who is going to be doing the restoration for me is going to be the same guy that's going to be doing like the hardscape around the pool. So I'll do that at that time because
Ryan, do you mind getting a little closer to the mic? Thank you.
there's no reason to make a big mess. Try and do both at the same time. It's safer for the wetlands to put the pool in and then come back after, do the excavation to remove the dirt and reestablish the wetlands while they're putting in the hardscape. We'll put up the erosion control prior to the pool going in though, in the same spot that it will be for the duration of the whole project. And the goal is like you mentioned, to try and get the fall planting season, middle of September, to get those plants in there so they have a chance to establish themselves before winter.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree that it's best to do the major work first and then go back and do the restoration along with the patio work. All right. I don't have any further. We did want to erosion to concur with if you concurred that the erosion control can be a silt fence and a straw wattle.
Yeah,
combination.
I'll do it along the whole backside before the pool starts.
Right.
Actually, probably do it all the way I'll do it from my shed all the way across so that it's all set up and doesn't have to get touched. Then it could be managed as the project goes on, but it should be pretty good during the duration of the project.
Okay. And what type of pool filter system?
I believe it's just a regular saltwater type system with a regular filter on it.
Okay. And is there a pool heater?
Yeah.
And the fuel source for the fuel heater?
Right around the corner from where the equipment's marked on that drawing there, there's a my gas for my house is right next to it, so it'd be pretty easy just to dig and supply the gas from that location.
Okay. And like you said, you're hoping to get the pool construction done this summer and then do the wetlands restoration and planting.
Yeah.
In the fall. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions. Rich?
I don't see fencing on this plan. Are you planning on doing a fence around?
Yeah. I just haven't had a chance to get a fence subcontractor on board yet. Let's see what the options are.
And that would be pretty much on the outside of this pink area.
I'd probably bring it further into the further closer to the border of the yard.
Along the easement?
Yeah, along the
Yes.
easement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only question I had. Thank you.
Robert?
From the closest corner of the hardscape to the conservation easement, what's the separating distance there?
I think it's 3 or 4 feet there, Bruce. What is it?
Where's this here? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, from that point.
To the
can't scale on here, but I think he had it originally up against the
It was
line.
closer. I moved it
And I
back.
actually asked them to pull it off a little bit to give a little bit of safety room. So I think that's around, like I said, 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, and as was just discussed, we put in the pool barrier fence just inside of the conservation easement line.
Yeah.
I mean, you may want to figure out what you're going to do for your landscaping, make sure you have
Enough room. Yeah.
wide enough to get if
Yeah.
you got a service and you're doing yourself.
Yeah.
But whatever lawnmower equipment you need between the two fences.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's the only question I have.
Okay, yeah, I noticed on this drawing here, you've got one rounded corner and one square corner. Maybe if you round it off both, that will give you another foot away from the line there.
Yeah.
That's just a suggestion. Mark, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Okay.
The only thing is, we having a site walk for this, or we just gonna go forward? I don't know. Did we talk about that?
We haven't talked about the sidewalk yet.
Okay, that's all.
I think you guys are going to probably come out anyways during the restoration to see it too, though, right?
That's usually town staff
Somebody
does-
town staff.
checks on the progress of the restoration. We would, actually, that's a question. Bruce, are we gonna vote on the restoration plan and the application separately? or-
No, the restoration plan was already approved. So
Oh, that's right.
this
Yeah,
is
we-
just for the
we did,
pool.
okay.
And I said, I can actually load up the pictures, but there was quite a bit of pictures of the area. So it is pretty much lawn. You know, it's just lawn all wrapped around. So I'm not sure what a site walk, definitely we can do it if we want, but I think the pictures tell a lot.
There's also 4 trees there, Bruce. We should bring up.
Exactly. You want to talk about the trees
Well,
too?
it's
So let's
4 or 5.
let me open those right now. Because it won't do that through here. This way. Second.
So I'll give you, there's 4 trees. One of them's completely dead. There's 2 that are struggling right now. And then there's one that is just a safety concern of mine because it's a large oak that overhangs my yard into the pool area. I have 4 young kids. I'd be concerned about that being there. And there's also one white oak that's struggling significantly in the back of my yard that is probably gonna be dead for next season.
I got these up on the screen now. So this is looking north. So this is looking from the bottom of the page to the top of the page on your plan. All right. The pool is going to be going right around this area of the patio. That's correct.
Yes.
So there's this tree here.
Yeah, it's a white oak. It's all dead at the top, but
Yeah. there's a bunch of-
Okay. And let's get these little dicier ones. So this is going north to south. Style in the next one. I think this is twin right there, right?
yeah,
So
that's the
next-
twin. There's a twin tree that's struggling pretty bad. A lot of big limbs are coming off it, and it's got a lot of dead at the top of that one too.
It's 2. Is that 2 or is that 3?
That's
You
that's
count-
one tree. It's one.
So you're counting that as 1, okay?
Yeah.
And then there's this one here? You
Yeah,
want
that's
me-
the one that's a safety concern. That in the last storm, a lot of big branches were falling off it last week. And then there's
This
that.
one?
Then that tree is almost dead, but leaning very. But that tree, I'm surprised that tree didn't come down in the storm. And then there's one behind that that's completely dead, Bruce. The plan would be to remove those and plant 5 new healthy trees in their place to replace them with.
Mr. Chair, can I pose a question?
Sure.
First, trees, if those trees are in the conservation area, do we have, who approves tree removal in a conservation area?
Technically, the commission, and I suggested it be done as part of this application because he had mentioned it after the point or after the fact. So I discussed that definitely should bring this up with the commission at this point. It's tough to see with some of these pictures, but there are a couple that are I don't need to be an arborist to tell you that it is dying or it's dead. The other ones, I suggested that he have an arborist.
So
do
it is
everything.
us versus the council.
Huh?
It is this group, this board versus the
This
council.
board, yes, exactly. I do make staff decisions. When someone calls me and they say there is a tree dead in the easement and I go out there and it's stripped and dead, I go, yeah, just take it down. There's no sense bothering you guys with that. So. But-
Because a couple of them, if they go down, they're gonna take a couple more trees with them, healthy trees with them. That one big one, you can see it there, it's leaning real bad to the right.
Okay. All right, where we left off. Mark, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I'm looking at the trees. They do not look healthy. So I understand. And if they're in the conservation, um, I mean, if they're dead, they should be removed.
Okay. Lana?
I don't have any further questions.
Okay, Frank?
No questions.
All right, well, first thing we have to do is accept the application. Chair will entertain a motion to accept the application
So moved.
and a second.
That's fine.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to accept the application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. I could go either way on a sidewalk on this one. Because there is some restoration work that's also that we also did. We didn't go out to look at this for the restoration work, did we? No, I didn't think so. All right, Rich, what do you think? Actually, why don't we speak to both the need for a sidewalk and significance?
The photos pretty much tell the story. I'm not feeling a sidewalk is needed, and I would not think it's significant.
Okay, Robert?
Non-significant regulated activity, and I don't feel the need to do a site walk. Yeah, go ahead.
Mark?
It's non-significant, and I'll go either way if you want to do a site visit. I don't know if it's necessary, but if it is, I'll be there.
Okay. Alana?
Not significant, and I don't think we need a site walk.
Okay, Frank?
Non-significant, and I'll just go with the committee if we believe that it requires a sidewalk.
All right, I don't think we need a site walk on this, but if the motion passes, fails, then we'll go, then we'll have one. So, Chair will entertain a motion, that there is no need for a site walk on this.
So moved by Robert.
Second by Mark.
Second.
Second by
All right,
Mark.
Motion is made and seconded that a site walk is not required for this application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. No site walk. And now that we during the discussion, we seem to think that a significance, this was a non-significant regulated activity. So the chair will entertain a motion to determine that this is a non-significant regulated activity.
So move, Mark.
Second by Robert.
All right, motion made and seconded as a non-significant regulated activity. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, before we move on,
Yep.
I do have a question for the applicant. The plan to manage the material that comes out for where you're gonna put the hardscape in the pool, is it to remove it from the site?
Yeah. Yep. I have property in plan where we're just gonna put it on.
Nope, just given the,
Yeah.
to the conservation easement and now.
There'd be nowhere to put it. And plus, we're not, any trees we cut down, we're not gonna, you brought the stumps up, we're not gonna grind them, we're just gonna leave them because it would just cause more disturbance to the area.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so next meeting, we would vote on the application. All right, are you here for 222 Tonka Notch Road, sir? Yes, okay. Let's go back to 222 Tonka Notch Road, please.
Give me a second when I load everything up.
Maybe I don't even need to put up the pictures.
Yep, I have everything right here. You want to start with the pictures or you want to start with the plan?
Let's start with the plans.
All set.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name's Dave Whitney. I'm a professional engineer with an office in Avon, representing the owners, the owner Andrea Perkalitis at 222 Talcott Notch Road. We briefly discussed this application informally at your last meeting. At this site, they have an old pool house that they would like to convert into a guest room, which would technically be an accessory dwelling unit. It's a one bedroom. It will be a one bedroom guest house. Previously, as a pool house, it had a septic system. And there's some evidence in the files at Farmington Valley Health District that the septic system had been problematic and that the existing septic tank was undersized and cracked. So as part of the renovation of the pool house into an accessory dwelling unit, we need to put a new septic system in. This is a one bedroom accessory dwelling unit. The Connecticut Public Health Code requires that a septic system for a detached building, the minimum size be a two bedroom septic system. So this septic system is over designed by code. We're proposing to put it to the, let's see, below, I'm trying to think where, I don't have it.
South, yeah, it'll be south.
To the south of the existing building, so that it will function by gravity. The septic system itself is 55 feet long. Again, that's the minimum size required for a two bedroom septic system based on the soil on the site. We've conducted soil tests, percolation tests and deep pits with Farmington Valley Health District, and I designed the septic system and it has been approved by the health district. It's a relatively small system. On this plan you see here, I'm showing the area of disturbance outlined in red. It's about 5,000 square feet or 0.12 acres. So a little over a tenth of an acre of the site disturbed. The area in the proposed septic area is sparsely wooded. There are several trees that will have to be cut down. On the plan, you see several large diameter trees that will be able to remain. Bruce, can you move it up a little? There is an intermittent water course that you can see at the bottom of the picture there. The minimum distance required from the water course for the septic system is 25 feet. The septic system is actually 35 feet from the intermittent water course. This property, there was a proposed subdivision a number of years ago in 2017. And there was a detailed report about this intermittent water course. It flows down to a pond. There's an existing pond on the site, a little bit off the page. But this intermittent water course was identified as wetland area A in David Lord's report from 2017. And I'll just read briefly. Wetland resource A consists of a well-defined intermittent watercourse channel which enters the property from the east. The channel has a very rocky bottom with abrupt slide slopes. The channel has eroded over time to create its current configuration. Channel widths vary from 4 to 8 feet wide and are generally less than 3 feet deep. No vegetation other than rock mosses were observed within the channel limits. And then he talks about the canopy, the Canadian hemlock, white pines, and red oaks dominate the mature tree canopy. Shrub species bordering the intermittent channel include invasive species such as Japanese barberry, multiflora rose, and burning bush. Significant ground cover is lacking due to the shading effect of the main tree canopy. Some regrowth of the tree canopy species can be found. The primary function of Wetlands Area A is wildlife habitat. He goes on to describe the various functions and values of wetlands, including groundwater recharge, flood flow alteration, shellfish habitat, sediment toxicant retention, nutrient removal, production export, sediment, shoreline stabilization, recreation, educational value, and uniqueness, visual quality and aesthetics, endangered species habitat. And none of those are associated with this intermittent watercourse. The only function of this intermittent watercourse he has as wildlife habitat, but he says it's limited by size and lack of food sources. So basically, not all wetlands are created equal. This is a insignificant wetlands and basically is a stormwater channel when it rains down to the pond. Bruce, if you could turn to the second page, number 2. Okay, this is the subdivision map of the property from 2017. And the green shaded area is all of the regulated area on this site. It's a large lot. The regulated area shaded in green is 7.24 acres. You can see in red, I've outlined the area that will be disturbed for the construction of the septic system, which is about a little over 5,000 square feet, or 1.6% of the total regulated area on the site. So it's the construction activities are a relatively small portion of the regulated areas on the site. Let's see. Bruce, if you could go to sheet 3. We talked at the last meeting briefly about an alternative septic system. We could put in a septic tank and a pump chamber and pump the effluent outside of the upland review area. I always try to avoid utilizing pumps for septic systems whenever possible. The system that has been approved by the health district is a gravity system, but this is an alternative. Now, a couple of things about this alternative septic system. Adding a pump chamber and a pump and the electrician, the cost of the electrician to wire the pump generally adds about $10,000 to the cost of a septic system. In addition, the area outside the upland review area is at a much flatter slope than the area where the septic system has been approved, which is about 6 to 8%. Outside the upland review area, it's much flatter at about a 2% grade. Not to get into the weeds about septic system design, but there are requirements for size and length of septic systems. And as I already mentioned, a minimum 2-bedroom size is required, even though this is a 1-bedroom ADU. But the minimum leaching system spread, which is the length of the system, is based on a number of factors, including the slope of the land. If we were to put the septic system outside of the upland review area where it's flatter, the septic system would have to be about 30 feet longer, or another 55%. The minimum leaching system spread is basically a cookbook hydraulic analysis that we're required to do for every septic design based on the number of bedrooms, the depth of the restrictive layer, the slope of the land, and the hydraulic factor. which is the slope and the depth to the restrictive layer. So that would add another $10,000 to $15,000 to the cost of the septic system. So I know cost is not the only consideration when you make decisions, but it is, as I understand it, under the feasible and prudent alternatives, it is something that can be considered. Bruce, if we could go to the photos. Photo number 1 proves that not only Washington, D.C. has problems with reflecting pools. This is a photograph looking from the house to the pool house that's to be converted to the 1-bedroom ADU. Just to try to give you some perspective of the project. If you could go to photograph 2, Bruce. This is behind the building. And it's a little hard to see, but that is a hydraulic, that's a lift. They're working on renovating the roof and the windows, but you can see below, to the right of the lift where I've circled it, is where the existing septic tank is. You can see the manhole there. So that septic tank will have to be abandoned in accordance with the public health code, which means it'd be pumped out and the top crushed in and filled with sand. The new septic tank would be somewhere nearby. And if we had to put a pump chamber in, it would be somewhere nearby. But I wanted to try to give you an idea of the fact that no trees would have to be cut down to put in the new septic tank or a new septic tank in a pump chamber. So the area behind the building is relatively open. If we could go to photo 3, Bruce.
Can I interrupt you with a question? I just want to make sure. This is, the application is strictly for the septic system. There's no change in the footprint of the house or nothing like that, right?
No change to the footprint of the building. It's not a house, it's a guest house.
It's a guest house.
Officially called an ADU, accessory dwelling unit. It will be used occasionally. And I'll talk about that in a minute in terms of very low flows to this septic system. But it is, there's no change to the building footprint. Okay, so photo 3, go to photo 3. This is at the back of the septic area, looking at the septic system area. And you can see I've marked in the field with orange surveyor's tape the limits of disturbance. And we're actually looking in the upper right-hand corner of the picture, you'll see the garage and the house. But, and I realize it's hard when you have a picture of the woods, but what I'm trying to show in this picture is that the septic area is relatively open. And there'll be 6 trees where I have put X's that would have to come down for construct septic system. All of those trees, the largest tree might be 6 inches in diameter. But as I mentioned before, the large diameter trees, the 30-inch oak and the other ones, they will remain. But this shows the septic area and the trees to be removed. And then if we could go, Bruce, to photo 4. And this is a another picture, again, looking towards the house from the southeast corner of the septic system. And again, you can see the trees with the, I guess I have X's on them, a little hard to see. But the point I'm trying to make is there's not a lot of trees that will have to come down as part of this septic system construction. The problem with utilizing a pump for a septic system is that if pumps don't turn on a regular basis, the seals dry out, the lubricants dry out, sediment fills, plugs up the pump. It's not desirable to utilize a pump if it's not used on a regular basis. And again, this is a 1-bedroom guest house. Occasionally there may be 1 or 2 people there. Most of the time there won't be. And the septic system, as I mentioned, is oversized. It's designed for 2 bedrooms. So that would assume 4 people are living there on a daily basis. So I think it's a conservative design. In addition, the septic system is raised out of the ground with septic sand fill. There was groundwater encountered in one of the test pits at about 24 inches during the wet time of the year. There's a minimum vertical separation distance of 18 inches required by the Connecticut Public Health Code. When you put a septic system on a slope, it's a little tricky. So I've put the bottom of the septic system 30 inches, 6 inches out of the ground. So it's 30 inches instead of 18 inches above the high seasonal water table as a conservative design. So I think that there is very little chance there'll be any impact to the wetlands from this septic system. And on the first page, you might notice I shaded in the septic system in green. It should be noted that the septic system will be vegetated. It'll be grassed, and it's not impervious surface. It's not going to contribute pollutants to the septic system, to the water course like a parking lot would. So once construction is done, the site will be restored, revegetated, and again, I think there'll be very little impact to the water course. So I guess our application here is to request permission to install this septic system as approved. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
When were we out there? Was it like,
I put in the agenda review. When was that? That was in 2023.
okay. That's, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a very good presentation. I agree with you on the use of the pump. I'm glad you provide us with an alternative, but I do think that the original system that's already been approved by Farmington Health or Farmington Valley Health, will provide a better option. As you say, we don't have to worry about things going wrong with the pump because it gets little use. But I think I really don't have any other questions on that, so we'll see at the commission. Rich?
Is there a reserve area for the proposed septic system? I don't see it there, but I imagine Farmington Valley Health would fast it along.
Well, technically for a septic system repair, which is what this technically is, because there's an existing system,
Okay.
a reserve area is not required. I will tell you, this is a very large site, and I'm trying to think of the acreage of the property, but we could put in a new septic system. As you look at that plan to the left, where I have the words area of disturbance, there's some additional land there that a new system could go in if needed. But I have not shown a reserve area on the plan because it's not required.
From experience, a septic tank pump always fails at the most inopportune time.
As I tell people, it's always Christmas Eve when your plumber charges triple time and you have 20 people at your house.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Robert?
Yeah, I think you made an adequate demonstration as to why you're proposing what you are, and I don't have a concern about the establishment of the refurbishment sound system. I do have a question. You said it's an elevated system in part. How much material, because I imagine you're still excavating some material and replacing it with suitable septic material. What's the volume of material being removed and where does that go?
Well, I actually haven't calculated that. What would happen is the topsoil will be stripped off, and I think the topsoil is about 5 to 6 inches. That will be stripped off, and you want to leave the subsoil, which is the layer below the topsoil. That's the receiving layer for the effluent, so you want to leave that, and that's the soil that I perk tested. So you take off 5 inches, 6 inches over the entire septic area, stockpile it, bring in about 2 feet of septic sand throughout this 55-foot long system by 20 feet wide, and then put the topsoil back over the top of it. So there wouldn't be any material had to be taken off the site, but there will be septic sand brought to the site. And I don't have that quantity.
Okay, so I made a bad assumption that you're removing more material to replace the sand, so.
Only the topsoil, because we want to keep the subsoil, because as you go deeper below the subsoil, you get into the sea horizon, which is the hard pan. And we want to have the effluent leach into the subsoil.
Okay, great. And then the only comment that I have beyond the question is just, there is a fairly large area of disturbance, just square footage wise. So maybe doubling down on the soil erosion control measures to make sure that during the installation and until it can be restabilized. If you do have, we have seen some pretty significant rain events over the last few years. You're going to have
not just the last few years.
Yeah, last few days, right? I mean, you're going to have a large exposed area.
What we will do is put a double row of silt fence and silt sock around the septic area.
Great, thank
you. Okay, Mark, questions?
I have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Hey, Alana?
I concur with what the other commissioners have said, and I have no further questions.
Frank?
And no questions.
All right. I think we had a good presentation. I think we have the information that we need to accept the application. So Chair will entertain a motion to accept the application.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second, Robert.
Okay, motion made and seconded to accept the application. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. The site walk. I can go either way on this. I mean, people have been here a while, or in 2023. We did visit this site for a different plan. So I feel I'm familiar with it, but I don't, I don't want to take anything away from the need from people who weren't here at that time. It might be a good idea for us to do a site walk for them, but it's not a huge project, but there is a significant amount of excavation being done, and so it is next to the water course. So we'll see what the commission thinks. Rich, what do you think about a site walk?
I think I remember going to the site a few years ago. I could go either way.
Okay. Robert?
I'm not opposed to doing the site walk, but I don't feel compelled to do one.
Okay. Mark?
The 3 previous people have spoke. I've been to the site. I'm familiar with it, but if somebody is interested, I'll join in.
Alana?
I could go either way on a site walk. I haven't been there previously.
Okay. Frank?
I'll concur with the commission, wherever they think is
Okay.
best.
All right. We had some good pictures, and I think it's pretty clear on the plan. I don't want to take, I don't think I need one, but I don't want to take anything away from people who haven't. We also have Andre, and although Dave, I'm pretty sure Dave Fox was here at that time. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go, Chair will entertain a motion that we do not need a sidewalk for this.
So move. That's no, right?
That's a no, that we do not need a sidewalk.
All right.
For this.
I so moved, Mark.
Second by Robert.
Okay, motion been made and seconded that we do not need a sidewalk for this application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. No sidewalk. All right, now significance, since we're not having a sidewalk. Is a fair amount of excavation going in here, but it is, replacing, an existing system, which I think is less than putting in a whole new system for a new home. So I don't think it's significant, but let's hear it from the commission. Rich?
I would see it as a non-significant regulated activity.
Okay. Robert?
Not significant regulated activity.
Mark?
Non-significant.
Okay. Alana?
not significant.
And Frank?
Non-significant.
Okay. So seeing, we support the non-significant, regulated activity, the chair will entertain a motion to that fact, that this is a non-significant regulated activity.
So moved.
The motion is made. How about a second, please?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded that this is a non-significant regulated activity. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. I have a couple comments on from the staff is what we just already discussed, the double row silt fence and straw wattle. And just to confirm the limits of clearing with the town staff, although I think you've laid it out a little more over here. So I think that's
We did it after the fact, so.
all right. So at the next meeting, we can vote on the application. Is there anything you'd like to add further?
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk more?
I want to go home just like anybody else.
Okay, it's a beautiful night. So, thank you.
All right. All right, moving on to old business. Cease and desist 114 West Avon Road.
Yeah, you did. Bruce, do you want to do a outline for where we are on this?
Yeah, just give me one second. Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, take your time.
Give me 1 second. I just want to get it loaded up because this computer can only handle so much before it crashes, and I've had it crash during the meeting, and I'm not going to do that again.
Fine, thank you.
All right, you're up. Your plan is up.
Do you have any did you want to do a background?
No. If you don't mind, just bring them up to date. If they have any
Absolutely.
questions, they can bring it on me.
Cool. Hi, I'm Biff Scheckinger. I'm a landscape architect in the state of Connecticut. My office is in Farmington. I'm with Ms. Brianna Brochu, who is the owner of the house. It's 114 West Avon Road. They bought the property, what, a year ago? January 2025. This is we don't formally have an application, right? But we have a whole series of plans. We'll get that, but I never applied. This is a response to a cease and desist.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So I was brought in to review the situation and see if we could come to some way to deal with what happened. And I'll explain that really quickly and what we responded to, and then we'll take it from there. I'm sure there are plenty of questions. When they bought the property, as you can see on here, their property is right here. It's a long lot, but it ends probably at the top edge of this. When they bought it, they were told this is your yard. Just the whole enclosed area along this line of red maple trees. It was a lawn that transitioned into a weedy field. There are no trees in the area, and it flooded, and then it didn't. It dried out. It isn't a spring vernal pool. Technically, because we do soils as well, we do soil types as a wetland, criteria. This site is a small captured watershed, and it has a lens of basically golf course sand trap sand, which I'm going to show you. excuse the color, it's a little damp, but it's pure white when it isn't. So I'll explain where this is, but you can.
Yep.
This is just taken randomly. So when they bought the property, when the property was bought, they wanted to enhance it, partly because the previous owners had terraced around this thing because there was a loop in front of all where the red maples are. And then there's a whole bunch of native gray dogwood shrubs in the area to the northeast of the red maple. So it was an enclosed area, but it was a field / lawn that was kept as mowed. But when they bought the property, the previous owners with ATVs and motocross bikes had a track that they terraced around this thing because it was a nice natural bowl. And so they thought, well, we'll excavate out a little bit. Maybe it's going to increase, we'll have a little water, there all the time and make a nice little pond area. Well, unfortunately, they went down a few feet, pushed it across the side, and that's all they hit. So basically, if I look back on the bedrock and superficial geology, and this is probably a lens of the same strata and deposition that a much larger one that down across the street and down the road that Dunning is mining, for decades and generations. So it's excessive, it's well-drained, excessively drained topsoil. It's in a very small but contained watershed. So it ebbs and flows seasonally, but not springtime. It's a vernal pool and then it's not. It comes and goes. Like right now it has a little water in it, but it will disappear because it's more ground. It's as much groundwater as it is a catchment area because it's so porous. So they came to us and said, what can we do about it? We talked to Bruce, met out on the site. Right now, the area, as you can see, the hatched-in area is 6,000 square feet. And then around is another 2,000 square feet roughly along the apron and the slopes that they kind of carved out. It was a gentle field area. They kind of dropped it a little bit, went down a few feet to see if they'd hit something. What they hit was more sand, basically. But they graded it out and evened it out. But then there was the neighbor called, who's to the west, who has a Christmas tree farm, and they complained that they were disturbing a wetland, which went to Bruce, and then the town got involved. And so far, right?
Yes.
And then in September, they were hit with a cease and desist.
Mhm.
They took them. Finally, they all got together. They contacted me, and I said, "Oh, this is great." I came on, saw it, and they're very delightful people. Their intent has always been to create a nice habitat that wasn't just lawn area there. They went to fix all the tire disturbance from them terracing around with their machine, with the toys there. So I said, okay, well, it's their intent now. So why don't we do a renovation plan? Can we go to the next sheet? So the things are, oh wait, keep that, go back more. Go back to that one. Okay, you see the very dark cross hatching at the top there. They pushed off their piles of sand that are banked right now, and they're actually being overgrown with native grasses. But that's the sand material that they excavated. So what strategy is we want to get rid of the sand in exchange for, so it goes back to more of the normal topography here because it's just banked up just on that little north edge, which is their lawn area. It's not into the woods or anything. We want to trade that hopefully for somebody with some general fill. And sometimes we'll dress the area. And let's go to the slide. It's funny, I went to high school with the owner of New England Wetland Plants, and we had a hell of a time with this thing. And when we get to the seed mix, the reason I bring that up is we have 4 different environmental seed mixes from New England Wetlands, only because this is such a rare instance where we have fluctuating water, but it's all sand. So it's not really a basin, it's not this. So we're doing an experiment on it, which would be kind of cool. So the first, the two levels of approach. One is to stabilize with these custom New England wetland seed mixes. And also then to augment that, we have 575 plants we're putting in the 3 basic categories. We have 25 of understory habitat plants using wild raisin, blueberry, rosier dogwood, and swamp rose. And then around the outer edge of the basin and into the around the outer edge of the basin, we have 350 emergent wetland edge and also upland habitat plants. And then we have another 200 plants in the dead center of it, which are aquatic emergent habitat plants. So the process is we're going to, might as well go to the third one first. Go back to the third sheet.
Go back to 13.
Go to the third sheet. That's Back to the Future. Yeah, and can you go into the box? Yeah. So when I talked to Dave Anderson, who owns New England Wetland Plants, we went back and forth on this for a couple of days, and the way we decided the strategy would be to, we're going to use 4 different of their habitat environmental seed mixes, because we weren't sure, given these strange conditions of this up and down motion of water versus, and it's not heavily organic material, dense, not, poorly drained soil, as well as high organic content for the soil, for the basic soil stratas there. So I said, well, let's try these blended areas to see what can, obviously on the south side, on the lowest part of the site, it's underneath the red maple. So we're going to use their shade tolerant native grasses and forbs. Then we mix there's 3 types of different wet land, wet basin, and wet meadow grass seed, and that we're implying as you go from south to north up into their lawn, we have this transition from wet mix to wetland basin that sees periodic water mix to the upland wetland open field mix, which transitions into the yard, which is what it really was anyway. It was a big open field. So that was, can we go back to the second part, the second sheet? Well, anyway, I might as well, since you have them here, you can see all the wetland plants we have. But anyway, so we have 575 extra plants. We're not disturbing any of the trees on site. We're actually reinstituting more understory habitat plants, as well as we're kind of double hitting with a lot of these species that we're proposing, that we're getting at, little clumps of plants are actually in the seed mixes as well in those specific areas. So we're actually boosting the planting that you would get from a long period of sustaining the seed mixes by actually putting actual plants that are part of that seed mix group. And also in the very center, where we don't have a seed mix, we have a heavy group of sedges and black mama grasses and a bunch of things that are purposefully for habitat and for nesting and things in the areas that might have more water. In the periodic time, it does have water than the outer fringes. So the water kind of ebbs and flows up and down this thing. Then it's dry for long periods and then comes back up, but it's not a springtime event. It happens off and on. Right now, there's probably a foot to a half foot in the center of it, and that may be gone in 2 days, depending on if it rains or not, or it could, or it could come back up. Again, it's funny because it's a very small watershed that it captures, but it must have it's tied in somewhere to a larger subsurface strata of groundwater. So this is the approach after kicking this around for all, that was the approach that we decided to do now. And they plan to institute this. It has to be done in some phases, and it's a 3-year process at least to maintain it. And they've committed to this. And so that was the set of how we developed the plans.
Okay.
We have been in touch with all the neighbors. All of them are supportive of it. The one neighbor she was the original complaint, and we just got a letter from her. So I'm going to respond to it. She wanted to know who was doing the plan, if they're certified, are the plants invasive, are they, which is great. So we're going to respond to it. But we've been in contact with all our adjacent neighbors. They're all shown on the location plan on the thing. We've had nothing. Next time we come, we'll have letters of support, but we've already talked to them. They've already given us a positive response. So we'll just make it real and show it to you next time when we come. But the letter's already gone out, which is part of our package. We also sent them copies of what we were looking at and everything. So that's where we stand on the issue right now.
I don't know if one was necessary, but because it's kind of an odd condition that exists here, was there any test pits done to, well, yeah,
I mean,
would there be a need for a test pit for this kind of work?
No, because there was, just as the Mr. Chestnut said, is that it is just pure sand. It's a wetland because it falls under that intermittent water course, intermittent ponding aspect. So it almost, I don't want to use the term, but it almost acts like a vernal pool. If you could say it holds water for during the early times of the spring, but then again, it fluctuates. It's not like a typical vernal pool that,
Right.
because it's a, it's a poor draining soil. This is a very excessive draining soil. So
Right.
it is fully dependent on the water,
Groundwater table.
groundwater elevation during that season.
And there's no habitat of, there's no apparent fauna that would be associated with vernal pool that we've seen while we've been in there. Again, it's a funny situation because it wasn't located on the town maps as a wetland either, right, Bruce?
No, again, because it is such a small isolated pocket, it was not picked up under the DEP.
And I checked the soils map, so it's not, even the US Soils Conservation Service didn't designate this as a wetland soil or wetland area either, so. Again, I think it's a lens, it may be even tied if you go deep enough to the Dunning, material that they excavate. But it's, as you can see, it is, that's why we're hoping to negotiate maybe with one of the local golf courses if they need, they take the few yards we have. You can see the bank to the left there. That's the sand that's been, and it's grown over that now. That's natural stuff. And
this was taken.
We're looking south at the road.
Yep, and this was taken September 23, and you can see the standing water.
Right, and there, and you can see the red maples in the background.
So, this was right after. This was one of the chances I think when we had first met. So,
right.
I mean, I guess I'm confused here because most of the the wetland delineations that we use are soil generated, yet.
No, understood. But it's
this is just all sand. So
exactly.
it wouldn't be a wetland.
And when you look at the older pictures, we had gone through this. I can pull out the other pictures. It was a very high. It's like, let me see what I got here. I'll show you.
We took a photo. It looks like a pond at one.
Yeah, I've got the near map images.
Yeah.
Here, Topo GIS. Here we go. GIS. There we go. 23, 25. So you could see, for example, area right in here.
Yeah.
Impoundment. Here.
As I say, it's that line over red maples. You can see it's pretty definitive how it makes a pocket there, and we're not touching them. So
previous owner actually had a boat.
Yeah.
Moored off to the edge. That's how much.
Yeah.
It's all dependent on the amount of.
I don't think the fishing's real good there, but.
And there's no like during very heavy rains, like an inlet, an outlet doesn't establish. It's just
seeps
runoff.
down. Yeah,
It feeds from the runoff and the surrounding area, and then the groundwater just sets back after it dries out.
Yeah.
So here you can see here this area of impoundment. It's a very sizable. It's not a small little puddle. It's a pretty large, sizable.
It's about
impoundment.
Well, the actual the water edge from what we saw from the high water, it's around 6,000, a little over 6,000 square feet. And then if we did the apron around the top where they've leveled it off, that adds up to another 2,000. So it's 8,000 square feet of the whole reestablishment proposal.
And here's a photo September 2025 during a drought. You can see a lot of it is actually pulled back, and this is where they've actually started doing some of the excavation as well.
But it's delineated as wetlands.
So it's delineated. We tried to get a soil scientist to go out there and do the delineation. They all had called the owner and said, we're not going out there. There's nothing really to delineate. And they agreed with us that it's more of just an intermittent, I'll call it an intermittent water course, an intermittent impoundment. So
yeah, an intermittent impoundment would be it. There's no water course in and out.
So
okay, all right.
That's why they had kicked it out and said there was nothing for them to do, and they actually said the best thing is for a landscape architect to go in there and design.
Sadly, they couldn't find a real one, so they came and got me, but persevered.
All right, so we have to determine if we need a sidewalk, and do we have enough information? I mean, he's talking about additional information coming in to to vote on the plan tonight, or would be better to vote?
The
on
only, the
plan?
only information was the neighbors
The neighbors.
approving of this, and I'd be glad to send you letters from them.
It doesn't hurt to wait because
Yeah, we
they're
could,
not doing this in September. This is gonna definitely be a fall planting, I'm assuming.
yeah, we hope so, yeah.
All right.
And actually, hopefully by then, maybe we'll firm up how we're gonna get topsoil and get rid of the sand, right? But I have a complete construction sequencing plan on our plans as well as, some, the other standard, on that sheet, I believe. Yeah, there it is. We have a construction sequencing narrative, the project narrative there, so they're pretty self-explanatory.
Bruce, have you had any well, you've had some contact with the neighbors because this initially started from a complaint, right?
Exactly. So
And are you aware that they're being kept up to date on what these plans are, or?
which is, I had put in the agenda review. I just wanted confirmation because let me jump out of here and go to the GIS.
Yeah, all right.
Because there was an issue and I wanted, because that pond does, when it does fill up, it extends outside of the bounds of the applicant's property, so.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, personally, I don't care what the neighbor thinks.
What?
I said, personally, I don't care what the neighbor thinks.
Oh, that's true.
It's not a vote of the neighbors. It's,
Oh, understood, but it is, but it
Bruce cares because he
actually,
gets the call.
yeah.
but now that's why the plantings, want to make sure the plantings are all on their property. Cause see, you can see there's this, here's the property here, but the pond also extends onto this property.
It's 116 and 120.
120 and maybe.
116.
And maybe a pop of
Yep.
116, so that's why, because the work may encompass work on their properties, they definitely want to make sure that they're aware. I definitely don't.
Work on their property would be relevant, but work on this property owners.
So those two houses,
These two?
we'll say those are different properties?
No, that's one property. That's
Okay,
116.
that's one. Here's the other one,
They have a big garage. It looks like a big barn
All
next
right.
to the house.
and there's this one here.
Yeah, those are the three immediate ones. And then we have a location plan with all the adjacent outside of
Okay,
Where's the best place to put a pond? Right in the middle of.
it.
all right.
Well, see, the worst thing, when they bought the property, they look out their backyard and they see the first image that Bruce showed you, all the way to the wood line there with the depression. And there's, oh, there's your yard. And then when we got into this, well, you only own a third of that. But fortunately, we immediately, when I got involved, I said, we got to talk to the neighbors and they have a good relationship with them. And again, we can back that up with next time we see you.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. See the commission and do you have any questions? And also if you feel the need for a site walk. So Rich, questions?
I don't have any questions at this time. Is this an application or?
Yeah,
No, it's a restoration.
Just a restoration.
Just like we did on the other one, so.
Okay.
may I ask a procedural question?
Yes,
Can we dispose of the cease and desist now?
yes. Well, once this is approved, yeah.
I mean,
Once this restoration plan.
I
gets
didn't know
approved-
where, okay.
Oh, yeah, we wait for the restoration of plan to get approved.
Then-
Then I could release the cease and desist and issue an approval to commence the.
Right,
the
and
plan.
then we do our monitoring in the 3 years of,
Exactly,
okay,
yep, so.
good. Sorry, I didn't mean to, I just.
No problem. Robert?
It appears to be a suitable restoration plan and I don't feel the need for a sidewalk.
Okay. Frank?
Oh, I don't believe there's need for a sidewalk.
Okay. Mark?
Some questions. Did I hear you say at this time there's a foot to a foot and a half water in this water
moment, there-
depression?
At the moment, there's about a foot of water in the center part of it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's with all the rain recently, all you have is a foot, in a small area. You mentioned these aquatic plants. Is there going to be sufficient water to keep them, to let them live through hot summer? Because there's not a lot of canopy around this pond. It seems to be more out in the open. So I'm wondering if some of these plants might due to summer evaporation would not survive the season.
That's a very good point. And I point out the copse of red maples is backed up by other some native forest. It's all along the south, east, and west corners of this thing, so it's all in shade, pretty much.
Okay.
This was this was the point you're bringing is a salient one, because this was the big reason why Dave Anderson and I kept going around and around, because every time you get to, well, is it wetland soils? I go, well, no, it's actually. So, but we think because of how often, and even sometimes it rises when it doesn't rain specifically here, but it's tied into a groundwater system. So there's enough water, we think, that, and most of the plants I chose can take drought for, half the time they're habitating, for half the season that they're growing, they can take droughty conditions. That's something we had to, balance off on. They're not strictly totally emergent. They can go through periods of dryness. So that's a good consideration. And that's why we had a lot of discussions about this. It's just a hinky, funny confluence of a bunch of kind of almost contradictory conditions.
Well, I think you should get a tall fiberglass pole put a flag on it and stick it in the middle of this, because it seems to be a water hazard and sand trap all combined into one. You could make this a little pitch and putt little area, it just seems weird as you're talking about this place. It's unique, and it's just strange. But wish you luck. I hope everything goes well. It would be beautiful once it's done. And I think that was the intent of the owners, and their zealousness probably got the best of them.
Happens to all of us. And Farmington Woods is across the street. Maybe they want to add an extra 9. We can put them down
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. No more further questions.
Mark, do you think a sidewalk's necessary?
It would be interesting to see it, but I could go either way.
Okay. Alana?
I commend the approach, and I think this is a much better use of the site than what was there previously. I also have no further questions, and I could go either way on a sidewalk.
Yeah. In regards to our responsibilities, I almost don't picture this as a wetland. So I would think I would lean against the need for a site walk. I'm gonna stick my neck out, Bruce, and ask, would it be a better solution to take more of the sand out and bring in a typical wetland soil? Or is that just open all?
No, I wouldn't adjust. I mean, you're getting into
there's a cost involved there.
and you're getting into a chemistry that I don't want to be messing with, I mean, we're not experts enough to say, let's actually create a wetland. I mean, it is, as you can see by the pictures, there's times of the year it's a good sized pond.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got there, the boat on there is telling you that it's a lot of water, and I think the lawn, and the owner can probably help us out here, but I think the lawn for there's large periods of time where you can't mow that center bottom of that pond because it's just so wet.
That's why we had the submerged and the emergent aquatic plants in there. And the ones we pick will do well with some periodic droughty conditions. So again, we with that many plants, with the seed mix as an underlay, and then the 575 plants we're putting in, this should.
Yeah,
we got to win on a few of them, That's
right. I do think it's a very good restoration plan, and I do think the original intentions on this were good, to beautify and protect the area. But in regard to a wetland needs our protection, I don't know. I'm not sure if I see it that much. So I don't think there's a need for a site walk, but we'll see how the vote goes. Chair will entertain a motion that is not a need for the site walk here.
So moved by Robert.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded that there is not a need for a site walk here. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? All right, no sidewalk. I think we'll vote on this at the next meeting. And we'll, give Bruce a little more time to, because it is a unique situation and, if any more information come forward. And then, but I do think the restoration plan looks very good. And, we should be able to vote on this at the next meeting. What do you
Chair,
think, Bruce?
Yep, I agree. I only had one question, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh, yeah.
Has there been a cost estimate done on this plan? I just want to make sure that the homeowner is aware. It's a nice plan, but I just want to make sure they're aware of whatever the costs are and I'm not sure who's doing installation, because I just want to make sure that once it's approved, that's it, that we don't get the price and we're like, ooh,
Right.
we have to cut back a little bit. So just make sure between now and next meeting that you guys are all agreed on what this is gonna cost.
Right.
Okay?
But we pretty much have gone through and she's worked intimately with me and gone through the New England wetland
Okay.
catalog and everything. Again, we're doing, and they're gonna do all the labor too, because they wish to do that, and that's great. But again, we have a period, if you see in the construction notes, and Dave Anderson at New England Wetlands Plan said, you gotta, if they really want this to succeed, they've got to stick at this and do the maintenance that we've described and everything for at least 2 to 3 years.
Mhm.
And it says, I didn't know this happened, but Brianna was telling me that she got a caveat on her mortgage because she committed to stay there at minimum of 10 years more. So she's in for the long haul. This is her first house. She loves it. They want to stay here. That's the impetus for their, I wouldn't even call it misguided, but I guess attempts to beautify this area. And hopefully this will all culminate now in what they saw, their vision was, and it's going to be responsible for this board to approve.
Just curiosity, so you're saying that there were tracks on it? Was there like people would like drive quads around this or dirt bikes or
Yes, the previous owner, they had like pit bikes and dirt bikes and other.
Let me just going up to the, podium. No,
Yeah,
no,
this
that's all
is
right,
good.
because I gotta,
Just to introduce you.
so I can hear, so I can get the minutes right.
Hi, my name is Brianna Brochu. I'm the owner of 114 West Avon Road. The previous owners did have a track around the pond area that also circled the majority of the house too. So we were just under the assumption that that is ours because that's what the previous owners used. So we were just following suit of what was presented in front of us. So
okay,
that's just where we got.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, and I do think Bruce makes a good point. This is a very
Elaborate.
there's a lot of work in product being presented here, so just make sure that you're
She can make her
open to the
commitment.
costs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we will vote on this at the next application, and there's no sidewalk at the next meeting.
I have a question. Sure. Clarification. So we don't need a formal application. This is a restoration. Super. Thank you. I just don't want to be remiss in showing up and going, where's the application that we're voting on? So super. Have a good night. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, planners report, 20 Mountain Spring Road. I had a feeling about this. When we were walking around in that ground and you were like sinking in as you're taking steps.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Give me a second.
I was like,
He's crashing
man, if
on
I
me.
was his builder, I'd like wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole.
He's crashing on me, so give me 1 second. A little, he's going round and round.
So you're waiting for that to load. Bruce, has there been any update with the property sort of across the street?
Down here?
Yeah. the
No,
enforcement
there's been
case?
nothing. There's been nothing on that one. There's been no activity. I go there. I haven't gone in about a year, but every time all the machines out there, I keep track of where everything is. We've got our near map aerial image, constantly keeping up with it. There's been no activity. So whatever that work, there was that little bit of work they did in that river, that's gone.
Yeah,
That's
but
gone with the last.
I thought we were gonna pursue a lawsuit on that. Did that never, so that just in limbo?
I don't remember. Did we say a loss? I apologize. Maybe I missed.
That was my recollection where it
Was it?
left off, is there was no feedback from the violator and it had gone to the town's attorney to pursue litigation.
Right.
That was my recollection.
Right.
But you don't need to.
Has he removed everything from the immediate area of the, because there was like I don't know, if it was a small bulldozer or was something that had, one of the treads were broken.
One of the tracks.
Yeah, I mean, is that?
Yeah,
something
that,
he
I
can-
think the back, the skid steer's back up top here. Give me a second, I'm just trying to deal with this, it's crashed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you can, as time allows, at some point, you can just sort of check the file.
Yeah, because, you know, when the river gets up there, it's not out of the question that that piece of equipment could be in the water.
Well, and the person did extensive work in the regulated area, and here you have someone that's coming in with a restoration plan, and we haven't heard anything from
Right.
that person. Silence is not pennies. I'm not surprised when I saw Bruce's notes that this was a redesign.
That,
So I was just saying that I was not surprised when I saw your notes on 20 Mountain
yeah,
Spring
we,
Road
I
that
think
it's
we
a
all did, we
redesign.
had that question, and then know that, the architect, I think, he was telling me that they were fighting for the addition because, just because of the way the architecture of the house looks, it would not,
Sure.
it would, the appearance would not be good for a second floor. But I guess meeting with the contractors, I guess they all had some reservations. So what they're looking to do is delete this bump out, okay? Go vertical over the existing house, all right? And add and they were gonna put a shed here. If you remember, this was a stone or pea stone, pea
Yeah.
gravel,
Yeah.
little patio area, I'll call it. They want to convert this to a actual garage bay. So while the footprint is not expanding over here, they're gonna take this and put it over here. It is closer, it's this, the wetland does come around and wrap it around, but as you recall, the photos, it is a, it's a sidewalk. What's the exact sidewalk?
Oh, so they started work.
No, this was, that was before. That was
Oh.
when the previous owner was putting in that, they had wetlands approval to replace that swale and that pipe that was underneath there, which is why it started the whole thing of we've got some problems. It took them like 3 seasons to get this thing done. And as part of that, that's why when they came in and made that application for the addition, we brought back these pictures, explained to them that it was not an easy project, and it's not going to be that simple. So these were during the site walk we did in November. So this is where that bump out was going to be.
Yep.
Over here. All right. So the wetlands is a large part of that lawn area. Okay. So this is the backyard. Mountain Spring is up here, coming around the corner. You'll see this is that gravel area here. So it's going to stay with, I confirmed that they said it would stay within the bounds of this.
Is that a concrete?
No, I think those were plastic. They were just plastic ties.
Oh.
So those are just, that was just to retain the pea stone. So the pea stone is here. The garage or the driveway is on this side here by that red car. So this is where they want to expand out to the right.
What is the existing driveway there?
This,
Yeah.
it's gravel, pea stone.
That's gravel.
Yeah.
And they're gonna continue with the B stone?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I discussed that with them, that they should have showed it, but it will have some kind of a a widening to it, probably come out down through here and either come out straight or just kind of curve it in or something like that. So, but it is all lawn area as it is now. So I said, I said I didn't feel it needed a permit because of the swap in the expansion, but I said I would talk to you guys and see what your feeling was, and we'll determine whether they want to come back for a permit or if this is something that the commission just wants to approve as is.
What is it going to be a concrete floor in that garage?
Yes. Yeah, I would assume so.
Are they going to need like any foundation drains around that, or
Technically, they don't because it's not a.
because it's just a slab,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a basement. So while digging in here may be tricky, it may also be tricky in this location as well, because all that
Right.
groundwater comes down from the mountain, hits there and flows down through here. So
Yeah, because the slab is only going to be so high, but the foundation wall, they're going to have to be
Yeah.
below
they'll be down to 42 inches.
42 inches, so that they're going to fill up fast.
So the minutes, the minutes do state, or the approval did state a dewatering plan, coordinating with staff, stockpiling of the material. We can just carry over those conditions if you guys want to vote on this, or if not, we can make them come back for a full application.
With slab, and they were going to have trouble putting in go down 42 inches for the walls on that, and the rest was going to be a slab anyway now, so it's just going to switch over to the other side.
And you'll see
I
it
don't-
is all lawn. While it is flagged as wetland, it is all disturbed lawn at this point.
And they're putting a second story on that house?
Yeah,
I know where you're
the
going.
whole thing's going to.
I know where you're going with that.
No, it'll be.
Much for the architectural significance.
Missing it. Oh, here. Here. So the bump out was going to be here in the lawn. The garage here will be in this area here. This is all lawn, maintained lawn,
Yeah,
and then this is a pasture.
That's the
In this
land
portion.
trust property.
Yeah. Well, not all of it, but that is a lot of it is there. So. But the land trust owns here and here.
what the other place where the bedroom was going, that was closer to the stream, wasn't it?
It's not a stream, it was a swale, because
swale.
there is the underground pipe. There was like a perforated pipe that was there. It was actually an old clay tile pipe. That's how old it was, to help kind of dry up that area. Well, that pipe was plugged solid after 75, 100 years. So they had excavated it out and to replace a new pipe. So, and as you saw in those pictures, those other pictures I showed you, it was a mess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of clay pipes in the land trust property there.
Oh yeah,
Were an old attempt to try and
dry it up.
area. It's probably
Mother Nature's
done.
tough. She does what she wants. So
And the land trust garage is on the other side.
right here,
right?
yep, right here.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what the commission thinks. I don't know. I lean towards that it's a swap. And we'll let them deal with it. But and Bruce, doesn't not gonna matter much to you, right? In regards to you guys still have to go and check it and
Exactly. Yep. Well, there'll be a building permit that'll come in. We'll sit down and go over all these same comments that the commission had, and we'll just make sure we meet with them and explain to them before we sign off on any building permit. So.
okay, let's poll the commission. Rich?
No, it's slightly a regulated activity, but there's also already an approval, so I don't see a big deal of modifying the approval.
Robert?
Bruce, so the disturbed area is a reduction with the revision, correct?
Does look smaller in the map.
Yes, I'll give you that. It's about 308 square feet compared to 20 by 11. So, yeah. So,
And that would include the associated grading required, so it's
Yeah,
a
and-
reduction in the impact.
I think the grading would be minimal. Because as you say, it's pretty much flush to the ground. So maybe the only thing is any kind of excavated material gets hauled off. There's no real room because it's so flat back here. There's no room to really put that material.
Yeah.
So without creating a precedent, but of course, as soon as we do the approval, we create a precedent. So without creating a precedent, I think, given that it's a reduction in the overall work in the regulated area, I'm okay with it. It's an administrative review for
Yes.
the relocation of the construction plan. No new application required.
Yeah, and the other thing too is this, I mean, I know she had some deck chairs or something out there or something, and she's got some raised bed plantings, but when I look at that, it looks like a garage park or, a parking spot. But so I think it's going from a parking spot to a garage as opposed to the other location, it's grass adjacent to the swale. Where you're gonna build a whole new area on top of it. And so I do think it's less of a change. Mark?
I'm comfortable with this. As you said, I think it's less of a disturbance than what was going to be done before. So I'm comfortable with this.
Okay. Alana?
I agree. I also think this will be less of a disturbance than before.
Frank?
I concur with the rest of the committee about less of a disturbance.
Okay. Is that good enough?
I'll leave it at that. I mean, I know that there could be a condition concern with being a precedent. So if you want to leave it just approval by staff, then I could take care of it.
Robert, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Tonight.
Moving on to the minutes, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 17th, and then Wetlands Commission meeting.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve the minutes of June 17th. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. We will call we'll adjourn the Inland Wetlands Commission at 8:48 or 8:49. I can't read my clock. 8:49. And we'll call the Conservation Commission to order. Is there any new business?
No new business.
Is there any planners report?
No, sir.
How we coming on the bylaw changes?
Oh, I was kind of, I am working on that. I will get that done.
All right. Minutes. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 17th.
The move, Mark.
Motion made by to approve is by Mark, and a second.
Second.
Frank. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Oppose. Abstain.
I do have one thing before you close. if you don't
Okay.
mind. Just simple. I am not going to be here next week, just so everyone's aware. I will be away on vacation. So the meeting agenda and the agenda review will come out on Monday of before the meeting. So it's very short notice, but I don't have any kind of wetland applications in the queue. I don't anticipate anything being dropped off. So it's pretty much going to be a repeat of the agenda from today.
Okay. But you're here for the meeting,
But yes, but I'm here for the meeting.
so you're off next week.
Yes.
Have a good time.
Thank
To
you.
work on the bylaws.
Oh,
I like your dedication there.
where's the AED machine? Is it around here? I'm
All
gonna.
right. We're adjourned.
Thank you.